It was 12 o'clock a.m. I was alone in the Chicago airport, 8 days after my 16th birthday. I barely speak English and my flight just cancelled. So the agent who's supposed to pick me up don't know that. I cannot call my family because they are almost a half Earth away and my phone just died. That's how I got to US as exchange student. The agent who's supposed to find my whole family, they didn't find it, so they just find me a temporary family. And so because they have to have a family, so the visa, the F1 visa, they can let me in. So during that year, I actually lived with 5 different host families because they just keep. Some families said, "Oh, I would like to host an international student, but we have to move in 3 months." So I went there, lived with them for 3 months, then went back, lived with another host family. So that was pretty much it. I mean, of course, every international student will have different experience, but you never know. Like, that's something I never expected. During those time, it's actually very shocked. One thing is the school is much shorter, but I think the biggest challenge I ever faced is like when I was back at home, I was always like the A student, like I always know the answer before the teacher even said. Like among my peers, I always like have the opinions. But now when I was first get in here, I just realized I have those thoughts. I just don't know how to say it with the English, the language. I think that's a lot of international students get faced the biggest challenge. And I feel like I know some friend like after those phases, and me personally too, it's very devastating. It's because you feel like your whole self-esteem is like you are just look stupid. One thing I remember is when I first got here, I tried to order some food at McDonald's. There's McDonald's in China and I went there many times. But when of course I know burgers and I know fries, but when they asked me about what kind of mayonnaise, sauce, cheese, I just like my brain went blank. I have no idea. So I just go this, that. I still do that sometimes, when I went to a different restaurant and like the exotic restaurant and I have no idea what the menu is. But the thing I'm trying to get across is I remember I read an article about the mindset, the fixed mindset and growth mindset. In the fixed mindset, like you're trying to look smart, and I think many international students, if you come here, you very likely are smart, but it's thrown into this different environment, you very likely is going to not able to either know what is going on or not able to express yourself, and that's okay. I mean, just think about it. If an American come to your country, they probably have even like the brightest your professor, they might have problem like just having the basic navigation or some things like that. So yeah, that's like the biggest thing, the change I went through during when I first got here. I would say like the first couple of weeks, the first day is very nice. Everything is like so excited, so new. And the first day I went to school, I'm so happy I can get out of school at 3 o'clock instead of like 11 p.m. So, but then like after a couple months, I think it's like after 3 weeks, like all those excitement were down, and it's like I just kind of plumped. Like this one day I walking back home, not really walking back home, just walking to like the YMCA so I can like wake my whole family to pick me up, and I saw those birds. I don't know like how to say English, but there's like a Chinese poet we learned like in primary school, and I just hate that poet. But when I saw those birds, I suddenly realized that that's the moment like I miss home the most. And I talked to some other friend, like it's like that, the homesick. It's not like, at least for me and many, I guess, male, so who not like very emotional. It's not like you constantly think about that, but some little things that just touch you, and that at that moment you really thought, why I'm here. Yeah, actually, I went to this event like I think it's just last week. So it's a TED talk about identity. and on UCSD campus, and there's a video they show the TEDx talk. It's "Don't ask me where I'm from, ask me where I'm local." It's a great video. It's basically what the idea is: where you're from is a nationality, but where are you local? You might be like born in a place, raised in another place, and then grow up in a place. So think about like how you like belong in there, like what some routines, what some rituals. That's a great way. Like it's much more in depth. As you live here longer, I feel like at first you will realize like you will not fit in, but after a while, like my my best suggestion is just keep trying. Like, and don't think yourself that serious. I mean, like just think alive. I once have a very interesting conversation with another friend. Like he said, like think your life as a game. Like not mean like a just mess around type, but think it as like in a game you're not afraid to fail, right? In a real life. So think about that again too, because most failure when you think about like after 5 years, 10 years, it's nothing. You can just like, for example, you might look dumb like asking some like obvious question. For example, what's Yankee is and what is Red Sox, and that's kind of the question I asked a lot of times as intention, because even though you maybe get a perfect score in TOEFL, like your English, you can write better essay than like many of your American classmates, you still don't know have those cultural background, and it is okay. I feel like another thing I learned so much is like really take initiative. I feel like a lot of, especially like from Asian culture, it's you are kind of like doing what like the elderly or what used to be done. So you're just following that path, and you know you will get to success. Like maybe it's the advice from your teacher, your parent, and it's not as an international student coming here. You cannot like really expect. Of course, there are people who are trying to help you, but first you have to stand up and ask them for help. That's the main thing. I feel like, for example, during my first few weeks, I constantly bugging my teacher because what's that? What is that? And I know they're trying so hard to explain like a simple concept to me, but then their explanation, for example, I have one word I don't know, and in their explanation they have like 5 words I don't know. So just keep trying to take initiative. As far as making friends, I mean, I'm still working on that, I'll be honest. I'm not very good at making friends even when I was in China, so that's something like I would say just be open-minded, and like UCSD, like here you will meet like a lot of people from very different background, very different beliefs, and that's I think you should approach it in a good way, because I noticed a lot of international, and I have to confess I did sometimes, like they just like trying to like talk to like people from like the same background, because it's just so much easier. You have like a lot of more common topic, and that's okay. Of course you can have like friends from your same country, but also like since you're already here, why don't you just take the opportunity to look at what are the opportunity, what are the possibility of the life. Another thing I'd say like a good tip is like the 10-10-10 rule. It's if you have something like either very good or very bad, think about how would it affect you like in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years. And I think that helps me a lot. For example, when I was in community college at Santa Barbara City College, before my third term, I have like 4.0 GPA, and I'm thinking I'm going to Berkeley because I know like looking at the statistic, I have like a very good chance to get in. But during that term, I'm taking like multivariable calculus and linear algebra and like and the physics, calculus-based physics. It's just so much, and I get so stressed out. And it turns out I get like a first C in my like a whole like. And that's just like I got my first C, and that just dragged my GPA down so much, and I was like not devastated, but kind of depressed, because I feel like, oh, that's my future is gone. But actually it's not. I'm here at UCSD, and I'm telling you now, I'm perfectly happy, and there's so many things I'm really happy. So don't think your life is like only one road you have to follow. Of course, it's good to have a plan for your future, but Be open-minded, and sometimes it will bring you to a place that you never thought about.